Stephanie Pvac, and I'm the animal care technician here at the Lori Pancher's Paws Center. We get in over 100 dogs a day, animals, cats, puppies. So a lot of the animals that come into the facility are usually marked as strays, which means animal control will pick up, or somebody will bring them in and say they found a stray. But a lot of the time too, they're lost and found animals. They're dumped by people who don't want them anymore. So it's everything, lost and found, owner surrender, strays. So everything comes in all the time. So we have a high influx of animals that come in and a great need of volunteer work and donations. So I clean the animals, I medicate, I move, I bring new animals in, but I also do specialist work, which means if somebody's coming in as a customer and they need help with adoptions, if they have any questions whatsoever, I'll help them with basic needs, and I may even do an adoption. So Paws, we're going on 3 years here. The facility was initially built to provide a no-kill facility. While Palm Valley is still our intake facility, the flow starts there, the animals come here. We did at some point run no-kill while the animals were being transferred over from Palm Valley to here. But as we had a new director that came on board, it was shown that, we weren't necessarily helping more animals from being euthanized, because animals would be held here while animals were given less time at Palm Valley Animal Center. And unfortunately, because people don't agree that we're not 100% no-kill yet, it doesn't mean that we're not working on reaching that goal. The only way that we can reach that goal is if the community starts jumping on board with spaying and neutering, advocating, volunteering. The more animals that get adopted here that are spay and neutered is great, but at the same time, if the community is not doing their part with spaying and neutering and possibly being fined for not keeping up with that, then we're going to continue to get more animals. What's it called? So it's going to be the TNR program, which is the spay and release. So we just started a program for that, which was approved. We will be picking up cats in certain areas, and they'll be getting spay and neutered and returned to the area that they're at, which will help control on overpopulations in areas. See a list that we put out on the website saying these animals are urgently at risk of being euthanized. Can someone help adopt? Can someone help rescue? Well, that's when we get criticized for saying, why aren't we doing more, when we're doing our part, but we also need the community's help. Yeah. So when people start doing their research or coming in, ask questions just like you guys are doing, if people would just volunteer their time, donate, even on their own outside of the shelter, get involved with your community, do what you can to help, then we can all help each other out and do better. We have a lot of transport rides, which other states, other areas don't have a problem like we do with overpopulation. So animals will be transported out from rescues who pick them, and they're transported, given a chance to get adopted in another facility, in another rescue. We do have off-site adoptions also. So some of our employees will go to groups like Petco, PetSmart will do off-site adoptions. Some of the animals will be there available for adoption for specific days, because not a lot of people still know that we have animals here that are, sometimes wanted for adoption. Normally we ask people just to come in, interact, socialize with the animals. They'll come in, take a look around everything that we have. If they do find an animal that they're interested in, we do an interaction. We take the animal out, they get to know them, an introduction. If they have a pet at home, they're welcome to bring the pet, and we do a meet and greet. Otherwise, they do an interaction with an animal. Say, for instance, they interacted with her and everything went well. We go over basic questions and what it would take to adopt. So all you need to bring is your driver's license, your form of identification. Then we start the adoption process, which we go over everything that's required in the adoption, what you need to have, and what it takes to take care of them. So for her as a puppy, we would go over the vaccines that she's had in the shelter, what needs to be provided for her when she goes home, After the adoption, every animal has to be taken care of out of your own expenses. So vetting bills, food, anything like that has to be taken care of when you get home. Center and Paws, we are the same affiliation. The way that it works is Palm Valley is our intake facility, so animals get taken there first and then they're brought here. The adoption fees are gonna go as follows. Puppies are $150 with a $50 refundable rebate. The $50 that's added to the fee is for their surgery. So it's $150 for puppies, it's $100 for the adult dogs, $75 for kittens, and $50 for adult cats. And all of those fees include the $50 refundable rebate. If the animal's already fixed, then you don't have to worry about the $50 rebate, and it would make them adult cats $25, kittens $50, the adult dogs would be $50 as well, and then puppies $100. So her and her brother were brought into the shelter for owner surrenders. They had the puppies, and when they can't sell them or get rid of them because of an impairment, which for them would be the vision and their deafness. So they're brought to the shelter because they don't want to take on the responsibility and they don't want to find them homes. Yeah, so spaying and neutering is highly recommended and important because of the fact that if you see, we get in over 100 animals a day, dogs and cats, and these animals are here specifically because people aren't spaying and neutering. Now, the spaying and neutering is a part of the contract when adopting. Your animals have to be spayed and neutered. What we're trying to do is prevent more animals from coming into the shelter, and as well as our population in RGV. We are high capacity of animals everywhere. A lot of the time people are breeding to get money on their own and just to have more animals. People will usually see an animal like, let's say a husky or a shepherd, because they're so pretty they want them and then they want to breed them. But if you think about it, there's so many animals that need homes as well. Yeah. And you can easily get one by adopting, even a puppy. As far as donations, we take in everything and anything. We take in blankets, comforters, pillows, toys, food, kennels, newspaper as well. The highest thing that usually we need, like here at Paws and Palm Valley, we need canned wet food, especially for the cats, kittens, and for the puppies. When they're sick and needing medication or they're not eating, we require wet food. Since we're nonprofit, so we do rely on donations from anyone that can bring anything in. Bedding and food is usually what we need the most.
So this is what me and my partner are gonna donate to the PVAC facility, since we asked one of the volunteers directors what they needed the most, and they said was these kind of leashes, since they only have around 7 of these leashes compared to 100+ more dogs, which are really thick and comfortable for the dogs compared to the ones they have right now. And these cost around $13 and are really comfortable. And
you sign up at our website, pvactx.org, and there's a tab that says how you can get involved. You fill out the application online, and then you pick an orientation date, which we require you to join the orientation. That way we go over basic instructions on what you can and can't do as a volunteer. We ask for volunteers as often for everything. A volunteer can help do duties just as a worker does, cleaning and anything like that, as well as taking out the animals, walking the dogs, socializing with them, the cats too. It helps. Whenever we're so busy, a volunteer can come in and do those duties, take them out. So if you're a volunteer and you're signed off on interacting, you sign an agreement, you can take the dogs out, you can walk them, have them play outside, and while you're out with them, people get to see how the animal's acting outside of the kennel. As long as you're over 16 years of age, you get to come unaccompanied by an adult. Anyone under 16 has to come with an adult. You both have to take the orientation, but you're welcome to come here at Palm Valley Animal Center and do anything. The hours will help for anyone who need hours for school, for college credits, anything like that, or just if you want to personally come on your own to add to staff. I know most people are kind of shy because they don't want to ask for help, but always ask one of us here if you have any questions or need anything whatsoever. We're here to help, and we appreciate volunteers coming in and helping us as well. We're always being criticized at Palm Valley Animal Center. We're both the same facility, but a lot of the criticizing is coming from euthanasia. Having so many animals come in, they're also put on a list to where they're at risk of euthanasia, only because of space. And a lot of people don't like the animal shelter because that we are a kill shelter, unfortunately. But since there's so many animals that come in daily, you have to give another animal a chance. So say a healthy dog's coming in, but we don't have space, the next animal that has to be looked at is, okay, well, who's sick and who's not doing good on the floor with other animals. But the animals are networked for rescues, adoptions, fosters. Otherwise, they're put on a list. Possums were always being intaked. They're kind of a nuisance for people. They were always being euthanized. But now we have a program which is a sense of a barn, almost like our barn cat program for cats.
Yeah.
Where the possums will come in and they'll be put into a barn program and then released. I think that they're kept up with, vaccinated or anything, and then they're released out into the wild. So they're being saved as well. So any animal that's within the facility, they get vaccinated, dewormed, they get checked. Anything that's not from the facility, or if it is from the facility and then adopted, all the services have to be provided for elsewhere. Only because we have the veterinarian staff for the animals that are on site. And we do recommend low-cost clinics for anyone that has questions, but we aren't personally a clinic for services. Yeah.